Hi everyone. So here we're going to talk a little bit more about the Matlab programming environment where we're going to be testing out lots of the various techniques for data analysis that we're going to use in the course. So I'm going to pull up Matlab here. Just click on my Matlab window. Okay, so this opens up my Matlab 2015B academic license program, and this is going to be where we do lots of our data analysis. So we're going to load in data files, analyze them, plot them, visualize the results, all in this kind of integrated Matlab environment. So I'm going to show you around this environment, get you familiar with how to use this, and then we're going to start actually doing some cool analysis. So in Matlab, there's a ton of functionality. There are 1,000 different things you can do with Matlab, and I'm going to show you some of the basics and where to look for more help later. So one of the first things I want to show you is this command window. So the command window in Matlab is essentially a command line where you can type program commands line after line after line, and they'll just execute in order as you type them. So for example, I could make a vector x, and I could say that x is a vector from -5 to 5. And if I hit enter, it should spit out this vector x, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it essentially creates this object x for me. And then if I want to say plot x by x squared, I can bring up a graphic of the plot of x by x squared. So this will come up momentarily. Okay. And here we have our familiar quadratic kind of parabola of x squared. So this is a lot like your graphing calculator. You can essentially define data, you can plot that data, and you can do it all kind of in order as you think up a new command. If I want to try this, I'll just plot that. If I want to create a new vector, I'll just create a new vector. And so you can essentially just work in this command line environment. Okay, so in Matlab you can also, if there is like a long program that I want to run that has 15 or 20 different steps, every time I start Matlab, I don't want to retype those 15 or 20 steps. So what I can do instead is essentially save a sequence of commands into a script. Okay, so in Matlab you can go to this Home tab and click New Script, and it'll create a new script for you. Sometimes this will pop up into its own window, and you can dock it so that it's in this kind of big Matlab window. I have one created here called intro.m. And this file, intro.m, lives somewhere on my hard drive. So on my computer, there's this file, intro.m. If I go and run this, so I can go up here and hit run, and if I run that, it actually tells me in this editor that it's in this path here. So in users, amath, documents, Matlab, intro, intro.m. So this tells you on your hard drive where to look for this file if you want to email it to someone or save it for later. And up here on this top bar, this tells you which current directory Matlab is in. So it's also in the same directory, users, amath, documents, Matlab, intro. But if I went to a different directory, let's say I just go to the documents directory. So now I'm in a totally different directory. In my command window, I can list the file structure and see what all of the various files are in this directory. Or if I want to be in this directory where intro is, all I have to do is hit the run button. And when I run, it's going to ask me, do I want to change to the current folder where this file is? And so I'm going to hit yes. I do want to change folder so that I can run this file. So Matlab basically has its own, it knows where it is in your file system. It is operating on scripts right now in this directory right here. And if you have another script in another directory, you can tell Matlab to go to that directory and run that new script. So here in intro.m, I'm just going to create a really simple script to do something, and we're going to save it, and then we'll have that script forever. So the idea is that you can save your work, you can email it to your friends, you can send someone a version you're working on and get their comments, and you can build up these scripts over time that can be pretty complicated and do some pretty interesting stuff. So the command window is for quick and dirty, like one line at a time, stream of consciousness coding. The editor is for making scripts, which essentially create a record of a sequence of commands that make a program. So at the beginning of all of my scripts, I always clear all of the memory. Okay, so Matlab has essentially system memory where it keeps variables that you define. I'm going to clear all of those at the beginning of my script. I'm going to close all of the plots. So if there's any plot windows open, close all is going to get rid of them. And I'm going to CLC. And what CLC does is it clears this command line window. So it clears out all this stuff that I've been defining and it just makes it look a little nicer. So if I want, I could just run this and it's going to clear all the memory, clears the command window, and closes all of the plots. So then I can just do anything I want. I can define new vectors, I can make plots, I can label my plots, I can do whatever I want. So I'm just going to do something. I'm going to make a vector from -5 to 5, but here I'm going to have it in increments of 0.01. So we'll talk a lot more about this later. This is just a vector of numbers from -5 to 5 in increments of 0.01. And I'm going to put a semicolon after it, because when I create this vector, I don't want to dump that whole vector to the screen. Remember when I defined x before, it printed all the values? Well, I don't want to print all of these values, so I'm going to put a semicolon after this command. Then I'm going to plot x by x squared, just like before, except now I'm going to make it red. I'm going to make a red plot. And I'm going to make an x label saying x, and a y label saying x squared. Okay, so this is just a script. It's a silly kind of script that plots a parabola from -5 to 5 and gives me axes labels. But I can save this, Control S, and run, and it's just running, and it creates my plot, and you'll notice that I do have a label x and x squared. And if I want to build on this script, I don't have to retype all of these 6 lines in the future. I have them, they live on my hard drive, I can edit this, I can copy this into another file, and so I have this code solidified forever now, and I can build on it and make it more sophisticated and fancy in the future. Okay, so soon we're going to talk about creating these vectors and matrices and plots and for loops and all of the stuff you would want to do with a scientific computing programming language. But for now, I just wanted to familiarize you with the basic setup of the Matlab environment.